very much learning breaking news into the newsroom just literally minutes ago, learning that O.J. Simpson has died. Of course, he was wildly known as a professional football player for years until he then stood trial for the death of his former wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ronald Goldman following a car chase that was captured on live TV and carried around the world.
When law-abiding citizens are forced to live in fear, we look for protection to one man. Lieutenant Frank Drebin is back. This time, he's going undercover in the big house.
Where's your prison number?
It's unlisted.
He was found not guilty in that case. Folks will famously remember the line there, if the glove does not fit, you don't convict.
Here to prevent a disaster.
You're too late for that.
That's the guy!
Starring Leslie Nielsen as Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Priscilla Presley as Jane. Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya. Fred Ward as Rocco.
Freeze and nobody gets hurt! Well, from now on.
Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya. George Kennedy as Ed. O.J. Simpson as Nordbert.
He has had a troubled stretch of, you must acquit, I'm sorry. He has had a troubled back and forth with the law in the years since that, back in 1994. But again, the headline here this morning, O.J. Simpson is dead.
And introducing Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya.
Have you seen my pigeon?
Naked Gun 33 1/3. The final insult.
It is shortly before noon Chicago time, and history is in the making. By the time you all see this, you will already know the O.J. verdict. But we, just like the rest of the country, are waiting to hear it live for the very first time. So you will be seeing this audience's reactions as the verdict is being read. And so we wait. Are you nervous?
Yes. Oh, I'm nervous.
Who's nervous? Is anybody nervous? Yeah, I'm not.
All right, Mrs. Robertson, would you, do you have the envelope with the sealed verdict forms, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, would you give those to Deputy Trower?
Be still my heart.
All right, Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
At night, when I close my eyes, I can see Christy reaching her hand out to me while I'm driving, and the blood just keep coming out of her mouth. And that, maybe it'll fade too with time, but I don't think so. That haunts me the most.
O.J. Simpson is back in the news, this time smiling for the camera. A newly released mugshot by Nevada's Department of Corrections was just released Monday. The image was taken at the Lovelock Correctional Center, where Simpson is serving 33 years for armed robbery. The 68-year-old has not been pictured in a new mugshot since July 2013, and officials said it's to ensure their records are periodically updated. The former NFL star is serving a 9 to 33-year sentence for breaking into a Las Vegas hotel room at gunpoint with a group of men to steal sports memorabilia. Simpson was found not guilty of killing former wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman in the world-famous criminal trial. Meanwhile, a longtime friend of O.J. Simpson says the former football star will someday confess to killing his ex-wife and her friend. Ron Shipp, a former LAPD officer, told the New York Daily News that Simpson is in total torment today.
How would you fix the Department of Homeland Security? Email your thoughts to CaffertyFile@cnn.com. go to cnn.com/Cafferty file. Is Anna Nicole Smith still dead, Wolf?
Yes. We're going to updating our viewers coming up shortly on
Can't wait for
the
that.
mysterious circumstances surrounding that, Jack. Thank you.
And we have a quick look at the tweet here that came in from his family confirming that April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to a battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren during this time of transition. His family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. That coming from the Simpson family.
And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. By the way, if you believe that this rider is Jesus, that is incorrect. Jesus is indeed described as riding a white horse, but it's in Revelation 19, and there we are told he has many crowns, as opposed to the rider on the white horse in Revelation 6, having only one crown.
Vehicle for LAPD, white Ford Bronco, occupied by one male black. I got a look at him and it looks like who we're looking for. 7, he's continuing now, he is continuing. 18241, he's indicating that he's making a cell phone call. What are you reporting?
This is AC. I have OJ in the car.
Okay, where are you?
Please, I'm coming up the 5 freeway.
Okay.
Right now, we are okay, but you gotta tell the police to just back off. He's still alive, but he got a gun to his head.
Okay, hold on a minute. Monica?
He just want to see his mother. Let me get him to the house.
Okay, hold on a moment. Okay, where are you? Is everything else okay?
Everything right now is okay, officer. Everything is okay. All about he wants me to get him to his mom. He wants me to get him to his house.
Okay.
So that's all we ask. He got a gun to his head.
Okay, and what's your name?
My name is AC. You know who I am, goddammit.
Okay.
Huawei Ascend P1.
The dawn of a new era. Thank you all for coming to witness.
No need to thank us. We didn't want to be here. I understand y'all belong to a club called the Order of Ancient Dawn. I happened across your bylaws earlier this evening. Now, I got some experience with fraternal societies, being a part of Prince Hall Freemasons myself. Anybody know who Prince Hall was? He was an abolitionist who joined the Massachusetts militia to fight for independence. And he wanted to join the local Freemasons, but Tick reminded me why he wasn't allowed in.
Because he was a colored man.
I was not surprised to learn from your bylaws that your order wouldn't have admitted Prince Hall either, but then I kept reading and I found there's a loophole. men who are direct descendants of Titus are automatically members. In fact, they're not just any old members, they're what's called sons among sons. And as you all know, they can give orders to other regular old members.
What is going on there? That's a ring of my profession. You don't know nothing about that.
Okay, can we get a close-up on that? There it is.
I don't know nothing about
What
it.
is the profession?
Yeah, which profession are we talking about? Just look at it. Is it a legal profession? Of course it's legal. It's a ring of my profession. I'm trying to read it.
Okay.
It's too many diamonds.
Yeah, that's too bright. That's too bright.
Go ahead anyway.
Oh, Mason, are you a Mason?
Of course I am.
Okay. That's a secret ceremony.
Why is it? Well, you might as well put your pinky out when you drink your drink.
Of course I am.
Put your pinky out.
Are you involved in the secret ceremonies with the
Stop it.
candles and the...
Everyone wears...
Anyway, the Clippers. The Clippers.
But that is impressive, Mr. O'Neal.
I don't have a championship.
Anyway, so the Clippers...
Oh, yeah, I have 4.
Those he doesn't wear.
Those he doesn't wear. The Clippers!
Yeah.
As I was blinded by success.
We are T-minus 18 seconds from liftoff. We're T-minus 15 seconds.
Would you and your men please follow me?
Jerry, what the hell is this?
This is an emergency. Please follow me, now!
T-minus 10 seconds. 9, 8. We have ignition. 6, 5. We have outboard engines. 3. We have inboard engines. 1, 0. We have a launch commit. We have a liftoff at 35 minutes after the hour.
Every split second of this historic flight, every intimate detail, every heartbeat was monitored by Mission Control in Houston.
This is Capricorn 1. We have landed.
As millions all over the world watched and listened, the President of the United States spoke to the astronauts across the vastness of space.
To the men of Capricorn 1, I bring you greetings from your fellow Americans.
There's only one small catch. It never happened. It's all a lie, a fantastic $30 billion hoax.
Something's wrong, and I don't know what it is.
Dig deep enough, you might uncover the truth.
Roger, Capricorn. We copy.
I'm starting to walk now. Houston, the surface is solid. Visibility is good. I'm walking toward the camera. The footing is solid. The surface seems powdery. I'm picking up the camera now. A single people. You are the basic truth in us. You are the reality. We will never let you down. And we will always be grateful.
Oh my God, get out of here! Hey, listen to this. They issued a warrant for Henderson's arrest. He escaped, and the police have just spotted him on the New Jersey Turnpike.
As you can see, in a white Ford Bronco, the police have cleared the highway traffic in front of them, but they are keeping their distance. They don't want this situation to escalate. And we have gotten an identification on the driver of the vehicle. His name is Kramer.
911, what are you reporting?
Yeah, this is Kramer. I got Genderson in the car. Now he wants to see his fish. I'm taking him to see his fish. So tell the police to back off.
Okay, sir. And what's your name?
My name is Kramer. You know I am, damn it!
President Pitzer, Mr. Vice President, Governor, Congressman Thomas, Senator Wiley and Congressman Miller, Mr. Webb, Mr. Bell, scientists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your president having made me an honorary visiting professor, and I will assure you that my first lecture will be very brief. I am delighted to be here, and I'm particularly delighted to be here on this occasion. We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength, and we stand in need of all three. For we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. Despite the striking fact that most of the scientists that the world has ever known are alive and working today, despite the fact that this nation's own scientific manpower is doubling every 12 years in a rate of growth more than 3 times that of our population as a whole, despite that, the vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension.
I'm going to try and talk to some people and see if they have an idea of what's going on. Ma'am, were you let out of work early today? You're on live, Channel 11.
I was at the work. I work on 55 Water for TD Waterhouse. We saw the whole thing.
You saw everything?
The plane hit. We saw the second plane. We saw when the thing blew up, the fire, and we lost it. Everybody just left. That was it.
Can you just tell me, you were on the ground. Tell me your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jeanette.
Jeanette. Oh, God. You're obviously very emotional. Jeanette.
I'm sorry.
I know. I can totally understand that. Yes, go ahead, Jim.
Tanya, as you basically informed some people what happened, assuming some people had no idea what was happening, what kinds of reactions are you getting from people?
Oh, look
there
at
goes
this.
the second tower.
You're going to the second tower. You're looking at this live right now.
Okay.
Both towers now completely destroyed of the World Trade Center. You have no idea how many people may have been in those buildings. We have no idea. This was a major communication center for this city, for this country. Many government offices in those towers. Amazing video as you're watching it now. It's not video, it's live. It's right before your very eyes.
I want you to listen to me because I'm only going to say this once. Never, ever trust the news again. Not only only is it the same crisis actress, but I don't even know how many different things, like it's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different fake hoax shootings, gun grabs. And then this video I found that I've seen the video enough times of the original of this whole thing, and I could tell right away that it had been manipulated. And so I put this little thing together with I say real, I don't know that that's real, that's original, or the original release version, okay? And then they have the remastered version, the digitally altered, morphed, face swapped, whatever version on the right there. And you may say that it's the aspect ratio, but you know, they have the globe back there, and the globe is circular, it's round in both versions, and so it tells me that they only digitally manipulated the face. They made the teeth bigger, they did certain things to make them look different.
The worst days of my life. I guess I didn't know how much one person can love another until you just don't know where they're at. You just have no idea, and I'm just hoping for a sign of some sort that he's okay. And I believe in God, and I believe that God is with him, and that is what I hold on to. That is where my hope comes from.
My heart is with you, Emily, and I can't even pretend to understand what this is like for you. You know, if let's remain optimistic. If he's okay, you know, and in that first phone call with him, what's the first thing you're going to tell him? That first phone call with him, what's the first thing you're going to tell him? That God is our Savior, and that if we can make it through this, then there is nothing that can stand between us. And I just cannot wait to see his smile, and I'm just in hope that that time will come very shortly. And yeah. Emily Eisenman, I am thinking only happy thoughts for you. Thank you so much for the time. Let's stay in touch.
It may seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. Hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air, but I don't care, baby, all the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold me back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't let me. Bring me down, the love is too hard. Bring me down, can't let me. Bring me down, I said. Bring me down, can't let me. Bring me down, the love is too hard. Bring me down, can't let me. Bring me down, I said. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come on.
There's an incredible discrepancy between horrific events that she describes and her very, very cool demeanor. And if you look closely, you'll see duping delight throughout this video. You'll see duping delight throughout this video.
I really like Harry Potter.
No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. And now, if America's new spacecraft succeeds in reaching Venus, we will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers. Surely the opening vistas of space promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait. But this city of Houston, this state of Texas, this country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them.
I've never personally shaken hands with a murderer. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Very nice meeting you.
Doesn't that hurt your feelings?
No.
After we finished filming, OJ said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised.
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
Nope.
And this is it.
This country was conquered by those who move forward, and so will space. William Bradford, speaking in 1630, of the founding of the Plymouth Bay Colony said that all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties, and both must be enterprised and overcome with answerable courage. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead.
When I was talking with the gentleman from Belcom, and we were discussing the lie, everything he was telling me was different from what we were being told was the truth. And at one point I asked him, I said, man, you guys, you lied about a lot, didn't you? And instantly he said, no, we didn't lie about certain things. We lied about everything. None of it was true. I really don't think people realize how deep the lie goes.
Space, the final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
The Vector, NASA's official logo. If you've ever looked at NASA's official logo, both their official insignia and their official seal, you'll see that the most prominent object in the seal is a red swooshing object. They call that the chevron or the vector. If you ask NASA's Public Affairs Office, this symbology is featured so heavily in their insignia and seal, they'll give you what really amounts to the standard facile cover story for the unilluminated. They'll tell you that that is a representation of a hypersonic wing design from the 1950s, which was the time the logo was created. Not exactly the case. Someone might want to ask the Russian Federal Space Agency, Roscosmos, that was formed in 1992, why they chose that same logo. And while you're at it, you can go ask the Chinese, who formed their space agency in 1996, why in the world they're using a hypersonic wing design from the 1950s as their official logo. Then you can ask the Japanese, the South Koreans, Taiwanese, Malaysia, Mexico, Iran, all of these countries, even Bulgaria. They all utilize the vector symbology in their space agency logos for their national space agencies.
Whether we join in it or not, and it is one of the great adventures of all time. And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in this race for space. Those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first waves of the Industrial Revolution, the first waves of modern invention, and the first wave of nuclear power. And this generation does not intend to founder in the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled if we in this nation are first, and therefore we intend to be first. In short, our leadership in science and industry, our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort, to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people. For space science, like nuclear science and all technology, has no conscience of its own. Whether it will become a force for good or ill depends on man. And only if the United States occupies a position of preeminence can we help decide whether this new ocean will be a sea of peace or a new terrifying theater of war. I do not say that we should or will go unprotected against the hostile misuse of space any more than we go unprotected against the hostile use of land or sea. But I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his writ around this globe of ours.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go.
Force field. It's a dome. We're at the edge of the arena.
Man does not easily change environments. So in going to the moon, Apollo astronauts take part of the Earth with them. Oxygen to breathe, food and drink for nourishment. Like the energy breakfast drink of Earth, Tang, with more vitamin C than orange juice. Tang, proud of its role in this new environment, but also proud of its bigger role in the Earth's environment.
Good morning, parental units.
Dawn greetings, young one.
What would you like for consumables? Pop-Tarts, chicken embryos, seasoned patties of ground animal flesh?
I'm not really hungry. Just some Tang.
Ah, Tang, the drink the astronauts took to the moon.
Astronauts to the moon.
Well, yeah, people come out and they've run out of anecdotes, you know, and they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story. Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. 7, 6. Commencing countdown, engines on.
7, 6,
5. Check ignition, and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can.
Let me see if I got this right. Don't trust the media. Don't trust our security agencies, FBI, CIA. Don't trust the Justice Department. Don't trust the executive office. And don't trust our election procedures, our voting. Isn't this what Xi Jinping and Putin? All my life, this would be called communist propaganda. And now we're doing it to ourselves. I'm just saying. Take care.
Except we have the communist in charge right now telling us our country's bad and we should all kill each other. And then we're saying you can't trust who's hijacked the country. And you go, oh no, you must be a communist if you're against that. Hey, OJ, you've got the Justice Department prosecuting Trump for doing nothing while protecting Biden and people, and you're telling us we shouldn't question that? We should just trust that? You know, I bet you if I went to, this is hypothetical, I wouldn't do this. If I went to OJ's house and I waited for him to come out to play golf in the morning, and I followed him to his golf course, I could find out where he lives, go there. And I bet if I got out of my car with a machete and said, how you doing, OJ? I want to talk to you. I bet OJ'd pull a gun out or run or fight me or whatever. I'd say, hey, OJ, don't be a Russian spy. I mean, don't question this. I just got out of my car. I got a machete. I'm walking towards you. That's kind of Soviet propaganda. That's kind of Chinese propaganda that you're thinking for yourself that I'm bugging my eyes out at you, walking up on you with a machete.
I had some family that did stuff for the CIA. Because my dad, he was someone who would do medical procedures on high-level CIA people.
Whenever I go to a family reunion, half the people in the room are former retired CIA. I've had family that got like 7 Silver Stars and stuff like that, but it's all classified. Some of the highest decorated people in the country. I was recruited by patriot elements inside the shadow government.
Hooked up at the Psych Warfare Center run by the Pentagon at UT. I'm not even supposed to talk about the fact I've been let in there repeatedly. These guys were like colonels in the Army and Air Force generals, and I'd go to these meetings when I was like 18 with the former Marine Corps 3-star general or a former 3-star Air Force weapons head, or, you know, and they're like telling you this stuff, and you're like, what? And they're like, listen, they tried to recruit us. You're going to have to get ready. I remember being 4 years old with like an FBI agent and an Army colonel and all these people at my dad's house. And they're all sitting around the table talking about this and how do we beat it. And just all these decades later, 40 years later, it's all true.
Documents made public today. Bill Cosby admitted under oath in 2005 to obtaining Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to young women with whom he wanted to have sex.
In court documents made public today, Cosby admits to buying Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to women he wanted to sleep with.
Admission in print. In a 2005 deposition, Bill Cosby says he got Quaaludes with the intention of giving them to women he wanted to have sex with.
More details are emerging from a 2005 deposition in which Bill Cosby admits under oath that he obtained sedatives to give women he wanted to have sex with.
Your reaction to hearing what Bill Cosby admitted to under sworn testimony?
Complete validation across the board from all of us.
Now over some health news. You know the old expression, don't worry, be happy?
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry.
42-year-old black comedian. Obviously, Bill Cosby was a hero to me. And she doesn't know what it feels like to think that your hero might have done something so heinous. My God, you can't imagine. It'd be as if you heard that chocolate ice cream itself had raped 54 people. You'd say to yourself, oh man, but I like chocolate ice cream. I don't want it to rape. Didn't want to believe it. At first, I didn't believe it. I was like, man, these people are obviously trying to destroy Dr. Cosby's rich legacy. Even 34 allegations into it, I was still like, man, probably only raped 10 or 11 of those people. I know, but it's really tough. You know, you guys are young, so imagine if you found out 40 years from now that Kevin Hart raped 54 people.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Matrix. Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television.
To order, brethren, to receive the most worshipful, the Grand Master.
Self-evident, Brother Franklin, all men are created equal.
Indeed, Brother Washington, all Freemasons meet as equals, and we have an opportunity to create a nation in the very essence of Masonic morality. It would be wonderfully symbolic, don't you think?
You'll be wanting to put the all-seeing eye on our banknotes next.
You think I'm taking it a bit far?
Please don't ask me questions like that, Brother Franklin. You know I cannot tell a lie.
Oh, come on, Brother Washington. Everybody lies occasionally, surely, especially politicians.
Not me. Not even so much as an alternative fact.
We must all be aware of fake news.
The people must be free to think what they like as well. We can have no thought police in our new society. The foundation stone of our new nation built on all those principles that we hold dear.
The plans for our new capital city already have a very Masonic feel to them, yeah.
Candidate for initiation into the order, I'm giving him a little introduction into some of our mysteries. These two gentlemen are founding an entire nation built on our principles.
We have great promises for our new nation. You know, I wonder if other presidents after me will also be Freemasons.
Many will be. And Freemasonry will become embedded in the American culture. And the eye will appear on the banknotes.
Oh, God.
These principles will be honored with a gift from your French brethren. A gift that will be a welcoming beacon to the poor and oppressed.
This is the statue we are giving you.
It's a bit small, isn't it?
Oh, this is a maquette. The real thing is bigger. Much, much bigger.
America will produce a great many great Americans from many different walks of life and many different fields, and many will be Masons. Sportsmen, actors, writers, soldiers, filmmakers, businessmen, inventors, astronauts.
What on earth is an astronaut?
No, they're not.
I don't follow.
Well, they're not on Earth, they're in space.
The sky is a deep black when viewed from the moon, as it is when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the moon. The Earth is the only visible object other than the sun that can be.
The biggest visual surprise was just how black the sky was. You have a brilliant sun, brighter than any sun you normally would see, even here in New Mexico. You have these extraordinarily high mountains. We were in a valley deeper than the Grand Canyon. But then you have this black sky, a sky blacker than black, as the old Vidicon expression used to be.
When you're in space and you're looking into deep space and you're on the sun side of the orbit, the sunlight washes out all the starlight, so you can't see any stars, just like here on Earth. But then when you look out into deep space away from the sun, it's the darkest black you can imagine.
And we cannot see stars.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Yeah. Because you can see. Because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah.
You know, and pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
But we can also see stars if we're on the dark side of Earth and planets.
When I look out at the stars and I see, so many stars and planets, and
if you're there in the daytime of the moon, you see a full night sky of stars, even with the sun in the sky as well.
There really are billions and billions of stars, and you can see them. In fact, they're so numerous, it's very difficult to pick out the constellations you and I see here on the ground. And I live in Colorado, and you get up on a clear night in Colorado up in the mountains where there's no light, and you can see all these stars. Well, multiply that by 1,000. That's what it's like in space. And then when you're outside doing a spacewalk, and you have that one or two opportunities where you can let your eyes adjust, you can start to notice that some of the stars have colors we don't see here on the ground.
There are a lot of lights out there. There are a lot of stars, and they're all fixed relative to each other.
Sky, of course, was black.
Sky is almost white with the light of the universe, with the uncountable number of stars.
In fact, Brother Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk upon the surface of the moon.
That's the best thing I've heard this evening.
What, that a Mason walked on the moon?
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
You can feel it when you go to work. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
There's been no evidence that the Iraqis have been able to use chemical warheads in any of these studs.
If you're concerned about chemicals, it's certainly well taken. I've been through at least 3 or 4 briefing classes.
Gentlemen?
Both the American military and the NATO military on this.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
Excuse me for breaking in. Charles Jaco Carver.
Without Derek Zoolander, male modeling wouldn't be what it is today.
Actually, hiring Eddie was my idea from the beginning.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
McDonald is here, live on Monday Night Raw. Hey, look at this! Donald Trump taking down Vince McMahon! Oh my God! The hostile takeover of Donald Trump on Vince McMahon has happened at WrestleMania 23. I didn't think he would do it!
Okay, kids, make it fast. I've got a plane to catch.
We've created a magazine. Mr. Trump, we give you Scabsy.
We are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
For too long, a small group in our nation's capital
are corrupt,
has reaped the rewards of government,
the rich,
while the people have borne the cost.
The oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths of opportunity.
The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country.
And do you accept the resignation of all of these liars, of all the corrupt?
That all changes, starting right here and right now, because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
None shall interfere. Do as you please.
January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. The United States of America.
It will endure.
In 2019, we also celebrate 50 years since brave young pilots flew 250,000 miles through space to plant the American flag on the face of the moon. Half a century later, we are joined by one of the Apollo 11 astronauts who planted that flag, Buzz Aldrin. Thank you, Buzz. This year, American astronauts will go back to space on American rockets.
Man on the moon. Amazing. But don't forget the musicians. Do not forget the musicians.
Authoritarian and totalitarian regimes continue to suppress Freemasonry, afraid of its strong heritage of liberty and equality.
It symbolizes the inevitability of your end.
The British Army had travelling lodges that moved with regiments. Freemasons have served their countries and communities with distinction.
Freemasons met across the Union and Confederate divide to celebrate their common rituals.
And today, Freemasonry remains an active part of military life in many countries.
Freemasonry has burned as a blazing fire through the last 3 centuries. The driving force behind the Royal Society was initiated into Freemasonry.
Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, father of Queen Victoria, and Prince Augustus, Duke of Sussex. The 2 princes brought their feuding Grand Lodges together and reconciled to be the United Grand Lodge of England.
Kings George IV, William IV, Edward VII, Edward VIII, and George VI were all Freemasons, as were 18 dukes and princes, including the Duke of Edinburgh.
This year, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, celebrates his 50th year as Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England.
His Royal Highness was proposed into Freemasonry by the then Grand Master, the Earl of Scarborough.
He was initiated into Royal Alpha Lodge number 16, an advocate for the craft all over the world, continuing 3 centuries of distinguished royal tradition at the very heart of English Freemasonry.
To order, brethren, to receive the most worshipful, the Grand Master.
As permanent master of these 3 lodges, I now call on my deputy masters.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master, I humbly ask you to complete the initiation of this worthy candidate for Freemasonry.
Adorn our ceremonies and forever remind us of our incomparable heritage, the birth of organized Freemasonry,
stressing the deep and sincere loyalty and affection felt by the brethren of the United Grand Lodge of England for their Grand Master.
I had the pleasure of meeting 136 Grand Masters visiting from overseas at Freemasons Hall yesterday. Today, though, we are a meeting of more than 4,000. gathered from all around the world, from our own constitution and beyond. When the global Masonic family comes together to celebrate our past and to renew our own pride and confidence in and enthusiasm for Freemasonry.
I hereby read the text of a letter sent today to Buckingham Palace. May it please your Majesty, we, the representatives of over 200,000 Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, most respectfully express our continuing loyalty to your Majesty's throne and person in this, the 66th year of your long and distinguished reign, of His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, as our much loved and greatly respected Grand Master. We humbly thank God for preserving our order and fervently pray His blessings on your Majesty, so that our loyal devotion to your Majesty may long continue. Given at the Royal Albert Hall this 31st day of October, Anno Domini 2017. Her Majesty has been pleased to reply in the following terms. The Queen has asked me to thank you for your kind letter of loyal greetings on behalf of the representatives of the Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, which are being celebrated on the 31st of October at the Royal Albert Hall. Her Majesty appreciated your thoughtfulness in writing as you did.
We leave the Royal Albert Hall even more proud of our ancient institution.
Worldwide, Freemasonry remains as important and relevant as ever. A global society of perhaps 6 million people.
As the globe embraced Freemasonry, enlightenment came.
I may not agree with what you say, but I shall defend to the death your right to say it.
None is more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free.
Coat of arms of Donald Trump. What does it actually represent?
Well, this is rather interesting, actually. This is an arcane Scottish heraldic law providing evidence of Donald Trump's deep Anglophilia, I would say, and also touches upon the royal prerogative. There we have the double-headed eagle representing his Scottish Germanic heritage.
The Masonic Chip program uses modern police-approved techniques to create a child identification kit.
And we take fingerprints. We also provide them with a swab for getting a DNA swab. And we also provide them with imprint where they can get an imprint of the child's teeth. So not only does it provide DNA as well as a swab, but it is also a source if you were using tracking dogs to provide a scent for the child.
In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
You may be surprised to see who we found using tricks to cover up their license plates.
Apparently, they're law enforcement.
You know, in Hollywood and in the industry and the stuff we do, there's a lot of like insider secrets to keeping your career going, and a lot of insider secrets to making things tick.
You know something, man? Johnny Cochran, who was a friend of mine, he had put the system on trial.
Right.
Not OJ.
Right.
He put the system.
Yeah.
OJ killed everybody in that driveway. Let's just, to hell with all this. OJ killed both them people. Yeah, that's cool. He killed everybody over there.
I mean, I hate to laugh, but it's only because there's the conviction of your statement. It's like you don't want nobody to say anything to you.
They ain't got a damn footprint, fingerprint. They ain't got nothing. All it's in your ride. It's in your truck. Come on. Okay, but now here's the deal.
I could give you information that would refute all of that, but why? I mean, I get it. If OJ came out of jail today and he said, I did it, I killed those people, it's people like you would say, prison broke that man, I knew it, he killed him. And people who believe he's innocent would say, prison broke that man, see, they brainwashed him to believe that he did it. So that's why we're not here to convince anybody and change your beliefs at all.
Not you with the movie. I am. Yeah. No, I'm cool with you, Cuban. No, I'm really cool with you.
Fair enough.
That's cool. See, they gave me a talk show. I talk. I say what it is.
Well, that's all, folks. That's my line. Step aside, babe. Let a star do this.
If we turn against each other based on divisions of race or religion,
Come on, try getting it out.
That's all, folks.
Can I go home now?
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.